I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything. And I'm Kanye West at age 36. So just watch the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Bro, I love y'all, man. And I love me. And I love Christ. And y'all should love to see this. I'm not gonna tell y'all what y'all should do. I'm just doing what I do. If you love it, then cool. If y'all wanna rap me, it ain't gonna make a difference, honestly. I done been killed so many times on social media, and I'm still here. I'm still talking, look at me.
Because I'm God. And anyone to disagree, I'm the God of me, and you can't tell me who I am. I can't tell y'all. I could tell y'all. It's y'all job to listen. I'm the God of me. I don't know if I'm in heaven already and shit. I got number one. For all you know, I might be on like a fourth dimension version of the lifestyle. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I must have died in this accident. It must be heaven.
Today, you can see the title. I'm reacting to Kanye West, looking at his life, his evolution in relation to free speech, and also insights on what the Bhagavad Gita says about free speech and the growth of a spiritual seeker. Without wasting time, let's get into the video.
My life has been I wake up every day just surprised to be alive. Like, because of how many threats I got, from political to, you know, Twitter commentary to all that, just like going through, just to be like, boom.
This is Kanye West speaking on how his free speech and his being vocal about many issues without dumbing down has put his life into a situation where he's always getting threatened. So this is the other side of when speech is not palatable, or when truth is not spoken in a pleasing way, that it agitates the minds of others and it can result in threats and hate and troubles. Kanye West, who is he? He is a hip-hop artist, a fashion designer, businessman, entertainer, and public figure, superstar. He is known around the world for many things. I want us to see how Krishna wants us to use our speech, but I want us to start from the known to the unknown. So on the material platform, the Vedas enjoin that speech or truth must be spoken palatably. And if it's not sweet, then the truth should not be spoken. Yet on the spiritual, it is something different altogether. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains, 4th verse, the purport of the 10th chapter, that truth means it has to be spoken in a straightforward way so that people get to know what is what. The facts have to be spoken as they are. So now, when truth is spoken which disrupts the agenda of a strong criminal, could be political, hegemony, people with this particular profit agenda, they don't take kindly to people who disturb their money and their profits and their agendas. So most of the reactions that we see when Kanye speaks about issues that he understands, being someone who operates at a high level of fame and influence, it disturbs the whole situation of the elite and the leadership of the world. There's a certain way that those who have positions of influence are meant to act, and it should be favorable to the overall maintenance of the Kali Yuga agenda, the agenda of keeping people from the higher truth of God consciousness, Krishna consciousness.
I'm exposed because the first thing the first step to cleaning up something is like people be like, man, there's some smell. It just smell like that. It's like, have you checked under that couch? Nobody want to lift up that couch. And when you go to lift up the couch, the whole industry is like, stay away from that couch.
Yeah.
Do not. If you lift up that couch, that's going to be. We're going to call you anti-Semitic. If you lift up that couch, we're going to call you anti-Semitic.
He lost a very big deal with Adidas and went from billionaire status to some point. He says he was weeks away from bankruptcy. So he's saying that these are the consequences of him speaking truth about things that aren't meant to be revealed. So the analogy of the couch, don't lift up the couch, don't reveal what has been kept hidden.
There's an industry joke. There's two jokes. One joke that a friend of mine, I'm not gonna put on blast just because it's just about the joke more than it's about the name. He says, he is a manager. He said, you know what I hate about artists? They take 80% of my money.
Wow.
And the other joke they had is, what will we do if artists figured out their own distribution? And the punchline is, we'd have to kill them.
This video, I want to show a little bit of his evolution, because famous persons means we see them on our screens. Their whole life plays out in front of us. So he has a right to grow in front of us. And ultimately, his opinions, if we say, yes, it's about free speech, he should be allowed his opinions. And of course, if he speaks his opinions, then everyone else is allowed to comment on them. So that is why the Christians have an opinion, whoever has an opinion. Let's hear his next point.
So I'll be surprised that I'm still alive every day.
How did you not so-called disappear? Like, because that's a hell of a fight.
Because I'm God. And anyone that disagree, I'm the God of me, and you can't tell me who I am. I can't tell y'all. I could tell y'all. It's y'all job to listen. I'm the God of me. I don't know if I'm in heaven already and shit. I got number one. For all you know, I might be on like a fourth dimension version of the lifestyle. I don't know. Like I said, I must have died in this accident. It must be heaven.
So anyway, I must have died and I'm in heaven. After being cancelled, near bankruptcy, the struggles, his latest album reached number one. So, he feels like that's like heaven. So he's expressing this, but it is not a regular statement that is heard generally in Christian parlance to say I'm God or I'm a God. Younger Kanye makes the same point, and there he also explains what he means.
So I understand we want to make it about music, but I wanted to take this step to say, we got this new thing called classism. It's racism's cousin. This is what we do to hold people back. This is what we do. And we got this other thing that's also been working for a long time where you don't have to be racist anymore. It's called self-hate. It works on itself. It's like real estate of racism. Where just like that, when someone comes up and says something like, I am a God, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a God. I just told you. That's who I think I am. Would it have been better if I had a song that said, I am a nigga? Or if I had a song that said, I'm a gangster? Or if I had a song that said, I am a pimp? All those colors and patinas fit better on a person like me, right? But to say you are a God, especially when you got shipped over to the country that you're in and your last name is a slave owner's. How could you say that? How could you have that mentality?
So this is where he's coming from. This idea of being self-confident, self-asserting, and disregarding the negative past that is supposed to sit on your head based on your race. He's African American. And by saying I'm a God, in Krishna consciousness, we can understand that the soul is a part and parcel of God. Krishna claims us in the Bhagavad Gita as his children. He says that Aham Bija Pita Prada, that he is the seed-giving father of all living beings. So we are a God, but we're a small God. And then there's the supreme person who is full God. So I appreciate that he's able to speak his mind like this. And also I just want to note that expressing your level of truth, even though it's unpalatable, is almost always met with resistance and censure. So now, Srimad Bhagavatam, what does it tell us? Srimad Bhagavatam says to us that truth is meant to uplift or uproot one from the threefold miseries of life. And that truth also has to be in light of the absolute. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Iti Shabdyate. So that absolute truth has to be spoken for the welfare of all. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 1st chapter, 2nd verse. This is the attitude where, for the sake of helping someone, we have to speak the truth, even though socially it brings such consequences.
Because I'm God. And anyone that disagree, I'm the God of me, and you can't tell me who I am. I can't tell y'all. I could tell y'all. It's y'all job to listen.
He says, I'm God. And then he says, I'm the God of me. So, okay, is he God, big G-O-D? No, I don't think that he's that. By his statement saying, I'm the God of me, basically, I'm the controller of myself. Of course, we understand that nobody has full control except God. But there is control that the living being has in terms of their desires. What is it that you want to do? Not that he is the supreme person, because that is the last snare of illusion, Srila Prabhupada says. When the living being who is tiny starts to think he is the supreme, that is beyond redemption illusion.
Why should you fear? You know, it's another thing I don't like in Christianity, the fear of God. If God is love, why should you fear him?
So there's controversy again. Especially Christians feel completely offended. Or that he is extra fallen by saying, he doesn't like this fear of God. That God, if God is love, then, why all this fear? So of course there's interpretation there that the beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. The fear means to respect, some awe and reverence. But also it can be that people are motivated by a fear of a hell. That's why they do this. In Bhakti devotion, it's explained that that's the first and lowest level where we approach God, we perform devotion because we are fearful of the consequences, repercussions of not following, like hellish conditions or suffering. But higher than that, one should recognize that it is their duty to reciprocate with God, who has already provided so much facility for our living and livelihood, the air that we breathe, the light of the sun, the taste of water, etc. And higher than that, one should go there because one has some feeling towards God, some affection, and one wants to reciprocate and serve. So anyway, he says he doesn't like that. So now you can tell that the man is like any person and has the right to question their faith or the philosophy under which they are operating. And I can see that the tests that came his way brought about such questions.
You're easily sellable. You're easily contracted because you have this fear on you. Like, everybody gonna die eventually, but I'm gonna live my entire life with zero fear. Fear of a contract, fear of perception, fear of getting my black card denied, fear. I'm not going to jump in front of a train.
Right.
Be conscious.
Right.
You know.
So denouncing fear. Yes, and fear is really at the base of material existence, because it is when the living being loses sight of the light of God, or that God is actually present everywhere and is maintaining everyone, and that nothing actually happens outside the scope of the sonship of God. It is said fear comes when one sees two realities. I mean, something might be out there that is more stronger than God, so one becomes fearful.
I'm fried at this point. Fuck every label, fuck every contract, fuck any type of phone calls. We number one. It's fuck everybody. You better not bring your bitch around.
Right.
Anyway, we'll cut this out just to protect the evolved ears and hearts of our listeners. But basically, that's it. Frustration and anger degrades one's consciousness, and then one loses sight of the favor. Like in his case, Kanye, God has blessed him to bounce back. He tried to do clean Christian music, and now, because he was running out of money and resources, he went back to his old style of using foul language too, and to tap into his broader fan base. And he got a number one, but now, after working hard, then you think, I am the doer. Krishna says, Prakriti kriyamanani gunai kamani savasa ahankara itiyamme bina prakriti astada. No, that's the wrong one. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai kamani savasa ahankara itiyam ahankara vimudatma. Yes. You become a great fool when you think you're the doer. So anyway, he's a conditioned soul trying to find his way. Then I'll play a last clip.
A lot of times I just feel like in our society, in America, people, Christians, we depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. Mm-hmm. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground. Them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships, and it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Look at this. I know I'm not gonna third rail y'all interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in a silo and say, your grandmother gonna lose her crib, and this gonna, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do it myself. I had so much to do, I ain't had time to pray.
Prayer is not an automatic guarantee of fulfillment of desire. It said, man proposes, God disposes. So yeah, the man is speaking honestly, candidly about his life and his challenges. And he brings up this point of prayer. Definitely there's different levels of prayer. We are taught in Bhakti that people do express their problems to God and they do pray for specific things. But higher than that, one should pray for service. So when we pray to be of service, this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is asking Krishna, O all attractive Lord, O spiritual devotional energy, internal pleasure, potency of the Lord, Radharani, please engage me in your service. We should not expect that God is our order supplier, that if we have some issue to solve, we just call him and he should sort it out in that particular time frame that we expect it to be sorted. Instead, if it pleases you, my Lord, you take care of it. I remember Srila Prabhupada, when he was sick with heart attacks, and his disciples were worried that if he goes to India, and eventually he did, was he going to come back? And he instructed them to pray that, my dear Lord Krishna, if it is your desire, please allow our spiritual master to regain his health, to get better, to come back to us. So a lack of understanding on his part, and it's generally all of us, when we're going through tough times and we're praying and we're not seeing the solution, the tendency is to think that, well, God has forsaken me. He is not answering my prayers, or maybe he doesn't exist. Some people can come to that level. However, it is never on our own strength that anything is achieved. We should always understand that everything is functioning under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam heitunanena kontea jagad viparivatete. Material or spiritual, everything is working under my direction or supervision, Krishna says. So a good point is that it's not just prayer alone. We also have to put in some work, some endeavor, if we want to see things change. We cannot just sit back and say God should make things happen. Prabhupada speak of Arjuna on the chariot, right? Krishna didn't say to Arjuna, okay, you just sit there and you smoke ganja and I'll fight this war. No, he told him, get up and fight.